When the Leafs beat their former coach in Jersey on Thursday night, Mike Johnson was in the booth calling the game for us on TSN. MJ, you did your best, but let's be honest, it was a boring game. But is boring bad? Matthews, Marner, Nylander yet to score a goal between them so far. We know they're going to score, but MJ, should Leaf fans be prepared for the fact that Berube winning hockey might also be boring hockey?
Well, if you think winning's boring, then perhaps. But you have to get past that, Gino. Not looking for style points, looking for standings points. That's what matters most for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And Gino, this entire 82-game experience of the regular season for Craig Berube and his Toronto Maple Leafs is about preparation. So yes, there may be some moments where the game is not quite as exciting, not as many chances, not as many goals, not as much flow, not as much creativity. And that's all okay, because that's all in preparation for the playoffs. You know, this whole year is about the playoffs, and we won't know if it works until they get there. But that is where the mentality of the organization from top down is focused right now, getting the players to play a style that will be more effective, not just in the regular season, but in the playoffs.
MJ, you grew up in the city. You played for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Do you really think this fan base would be willing to sit back and accept Matthews only scoring, say, 50 instead of 69, or Mitch Marner only getting 80 instead of 100 points, or Nylander not getting 40 goals? Would they put up with that in the long haul, or would they get frustrated?
The fans? The fans will not be frustrated if they win in the playoffs. Listen, Austin Matthews scored 22. If they get to the Stanley Cup, the fans will be delirious with joy. Absolutely not. I think we know, if you're a fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs, if you follow the team closely, how great those players are offensively. The fans have seen them do things that no other members of the Toronto Maple Leafs organizations have ever done. It's very likely Austin Matthews becomes the all-time leading goal scorer in the history of the Leafs with about 5 years to spare in games played when he passes Matt Sundin. We know what they can do, but what they haven't shown they can do is win in the playoffs, and that's what the fans are clamoring for. Not more goals in the regular season, more wins in the playoffs.
You know what else they haven't been able to do is play good D. The Leafs have spent years trying to get their defensive game up to the point where they can count on it. We're only 2 games in. I understand that. But the fan base is all fired up from what they've seen so far from Chris Tanev. Did Toronto finally find the missing piece on D?
He's a very good player. Now, he's not the kind of player who can tilt a game or a series on his own. But over the course of a year, over the course of a series, he makes so many smart plays. We know what he does well. I've watched him very carefully. But to see him in person, Gino, the gap control, the touches in his own end, the breakout passes, Gino, the breakout passes on the tape where they can go the other way. This is the stuff that coaches and players and teammates love. And Chris Tanev does a million smart little detailed things that makes his life easier and the life of his teammates much easier. He's going to be a significant part of this team. And if he somehow makes Morgan Rielly a more consistent defender because he happens to be on the ice with Chris Tanev, then the advantage is twofold. So yeah, he's going to be a significant part of any success that the Leafs have, and he's looked very, very good in the first 2 games.
To have success, they're going to need goaltending. Joseph Woll already on the IR. Dennis Hildeby started last night, got his first NHL win. If Woll continues to miss time this year and the tandem becomes Stolarz and Hildeby, do you think that tandem is good enough for the Leafs to challenge the top contending teams this year?
Whoa, 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 whoa. We've already got a Hildeby-Stolarz tandem. Hang on 1 second, Gino.
Just asking.
Let's give Woll a couple days to get healthy. Listen. By per-start metrics, Anthony Stolarz, in a lot of ways, was the best goalie in the league last year. What he didn't do was play a ton of games. But I think if he can play at that anywhere close to that level for upwards of 40 games, and Hildeby is a replacement for upwards of 40 games, then yes, absolutely. With this newfound responsible game the Leafs are playing, the goaltending should not be a reason why the Leafs struggle to do well in the regular season or advance in the playoffs. If it ever gets to that point, it won't be because of the goalies.
The word unproven seems to ring a tone right now. The trio of Woll, Stolarz, and Hildeby have combined for a grand total of 65 career NHL wins. For perspective, the Panthers won 68 games en route to the Cup last year alone.